Number 5. The Combat. Resident Evil Code Veronica is one of the last Resident Evil games to use traditional fixed camera angles, and what many dub take controls. Up means up, and down means down. In previous Resident Evil games, you are limited to melee weapons such as the combat knife, and of course your gun. Resident Evil Code Veronica makes no exception to this rule, and carries that tradition forward. However, in my opinion, this was the best game to utilize these core values. Like many have pointed out in their reviews of Resident Evil Code Veronica, the camera in this game follows your movement. At this point in the Resident Evil series, it was groundbreaking. No longer are characters limited to the same viewing angle per camera angle. Now we can follow the character for a bit as they progress from area to area in the room. I, for one, like this feature. Additionally, there are many ways to strategize how you progress rooms. In past games, Resident Evil was known for its tight spaces and feeling of, well, looks like I have no choice but to engage in battle type scenarios. And while those scenarios still exist in the game, there is much more leeway for you to avoid enemies, and even evade being bitten, if you're lucky. I'm not perfect at this method, but I often charge zombies and begin to shake them off long before they can take a bite out of me. This doesn't always work, but when it does, it's oh so satisfying. In past Resident Evil games, once a zombie grabs you, there is no choice but to take damage. In this game, your character has a fighting chance of surviving. You can also button mash to ensure zombies get off you as soon as possible, lessening the impact of damage. I also wanted to give a shout out to developers, as it appears that ammo is spread out generously in this game. One final note I want to make about the combat. The knife. The knife in past Resident Evil games have been considered a last resort weapon. However, personally, I did like the knife in the very first Resident Evil game, as it did feel competent. But in this game, the knife absolutely destroys when used properly. My common trick is to aim for the zombie's legs as they approach me. 2 good swings and you've got yourself a defenseless zombie. Just be sure to watch out for walls, as they can mess with your ability to swing the knife. Spacing, people. But the knife is an absolute must-have for long-term survival. It is so satisfying to take a zombie out via bringing it to its literal knees and to the ground. Not to mention, the knife also happens to be effective against almost all of the enemies. While the albinoids can be a hit or miss depending on if they can reach you, I found that hunters in the game are also very receptive to the knife, if you're lucky to get them within close range. Overall, I find myself using the knife more than any actual guns through most of the game, as it is, at least for me, just as reliable. And to think some people forget to pick up the knife at the beginning of the game. Tell me, what do you think I'm doing right now?
Killing zombies. Same thing you've been doing for half an hour.
Yes, but what else do you notice I'm doing?
I see you're walking around sometimes.
What am I doing to the zombies right now?
Killing them
With what?
with a knife.
Yes. Why do you think I'm using the knife?
Because I don't know, blades don't need reloading.
Blades don't need religion, and they don't need ammo. Look at how buttery smooth this knife action is. That zombie didn't grab me. Look at me. Peleing this zombie with a knife. That does not look satisfying to you.
No.
Well, it is. Smooth as butter. But watch out, as you might hit a wall. Overall, I have fond memories of finally completing this game at age 10, after I conquered my initial fears. From the music, to the over-the-top characters, to Chris Redfield, Resident Evil Code Veronica will always have a special place in my heart. This video may not have been as in-depth as one might have assumed, but that's okay. I just wanted to give a few reasons as to why I enjoyed Resident Evil Code Veronica, and why it's my favorite of the series. The game's overall difficulty may scare newcomers from ever attempting it, but in my opinion, with enough practice and item management, you can do it. I also feel the puzzles are not overly complicated. I honestly feel that the puzzles in Silent Hill and Fatal Frame are more difficult. I understand this game has aged poorly in some areas, such as the round table movement. But hear me out. If you have the ability to move your legs and spin like a round table, wouldn't do. Thanks for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me. There's something I have been meaning to ask you. Why are your hands behind your back?
What?
I never handcuffed you. Yes. Get comfortable. You're my guest, after all.
Dude, do I need to keep this on, or?
No, let me get that for you.
Oh, thank you.
Guests don't need to be muffled.
Much
Can't you?
better.
Isn't it nice being able to breathe now?
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I hope I made you feel welcome.
I mean, I didn't know about this game before, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
For
That's what I do. I
Wait a second,
educate
this is
people.
my apartment.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave now. Yeah. Good talk though. Zip.
Sure.
The door's not.
Yeah, you need both.
Actually, I'm not leaving.
What?
I'm not leaving. Not before I do this.
What? Oh.
It's all yours.
That.
Now that I've given you the tools of survival, will you use them wisely?
Yeah. Yeah, man, I will.
Thank you.